Welcome to the Backwoods Gourmet channel. Today we got another new product from Concord. It's the 16-inch Banjo Single Burner, and we're going to unbox it, assemble it, and give it a try. Y'all stay tuned. This is the Banjo Single Burner from Concord, and they sent it over to the Backwoods Gourmet, and I'd like to thank them. They liked our review because it was an honest review on the Concord double burner over there. So they contacted me and said, "Hey, would you mind doing a honest review on our Banjo Single Burner?" And I said, absolutely. So send me one over. Just like the first one, the double burner. Outside box, there's another box. So let's see if we can get it out of the second box. This one's not going to go to 3 boxes like the other one did, doesn't look like. So, well, we don't really have to take it out. So, yeah, it's gotten, shifted around in there pretty good. So let me get the camera down here and I'll show you kind of how it came. So as you can see, the packing is just kind of shredded in here. I guess this is a little bit of bubble wrap. Here's our high pressure regulator, screws, and some little tiny tools. We'll set that aside. This is our legs. We'll get those out and check them out and see if there's anything that's burnt. Here's what concerns me. You can see where all this stuff's been smashing into the styrofoam inside. Alright, and this fitting on the end over here is going to be an important part. Man, that thing has got a freaking huge burner on it. That is huge. Alright, so flip it over. At least they had a plastic cap on the end of that. That looks fine, other than there's styrofoam beads all over it. We'll get it out and get it cleaned off. Check it all a little closer. Okay, before we even start to assemble it, I want to show you that burner. That thing is massive, massive. I just counted them, and there are a huge number, over 240 orifices in that burner that the gas is going to come out of. So this thing is serious amount of heat. So let's go ahead and see how easy it's going to be to put it together. Alright, so I know y'all see it. Made in China, right? Well, I get a few comments about this made in China thing, and just first of all, everybody who typed that comment on the page kind of bashing me for buying stuff that's made in China, we're typing it on a device that was more than likely made in China, guys. Okay, so I will happily review products made in the USA. Any of you guys out there connected with anybody that makes anything similar to this in the United States and wants us to do a review on it? Wants us to do a review on it? Hey, get a hold of me right here in the comment section, and we'll let you know how to do that. And on that line of thought, I just want to let you guys know right now, this thing sells for $89.95 on freaking Amazon. All right, it's affordable. Alright folks, well, this thing's got some pieces and parts to it. It's a whole bag of screws, and I mean, they give you a little screwdriver and a tiny little, one-time use thing, wrench in here. So I guess, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you got no tools, you might be able to do it with that. And with this little guy right here. But I got a whole garage full of tools. So we'll go get a 10mm wrench and a Phillips head screwdriver, or maybe even power drill. That'll even make things go faster. Alright, so we're going to pull out the directions and see what the directions say. Again, assembly instructions, pretty basic. Again, if you're not smart enough to put a bolt and a nut together and screw 3 legs onto this thing, you probably should not be using it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, since I put the bolt in from the outside to the inside on this inner ring here, I'll show you what the issue is. I have to move the camera in. So as you can see, if you try to put the bolt from the outside to the inside, it's going to be very, very difficult to get that nut on. So we'll try it the other way, see if that's any easier. Okay, that wasn't any easier, but you can't access it. All I could do is disassemble it, you know, take the burner out, and that would make it a lot easier. I think if you just took these bolts out here, you know, there's 4 bolts to hold the burner in. Probably be easier to just take that out, and then you can access these nuts and bolts very easily. In fact, we're going to try it without doing that first and see how that works. Alright, so we were actually able to do it, but now, you know, you can't really use a full-size screwdriver because you can't get an angle on it here. So you really would need 2 10mm wrenches to assemble this. So since it's just got these couple of bolts here, I think we're just going to pop the burner off and make this whole process a lot easier. Okay, I'm going to use the Makita to do this, but you can do this just as easily with a socket wrench, 10mm. Okay. And there is washers under those, so make sure you hang on to them. Okay. And with the last one, we're going to hold it, support the burner while we pull it off. We'll just tilt that out, and now we can get right to the frame and right to our bolt holes, our bolts and nuts, right here. So now we can use the socket on one side, the wrench on the other, to secure all of those. Install our burner, and you know, it's just 4 bolts, so we got to figure out which way it was pointing. And let's see, we have a label. Could have marked that before I left there. We want to put our tank over to this side, so if you have a preference on that too, you can actually take that burner out and move it. So I want my burner spout to come off on the right hand side. So we're just gonna get it back in there, get one of our bolts and washers. Now, if you're not comfortable with your tool, your impact like I am, you might want to do these by hand, because this is a steel bolt and it's going into a cast iron burner. So if you break that thing off in there, you're going to have issues that you're not going to be able to easily correct. So do this with at your own risk, and don't try to get it. The only thing left to do now is to connect the gas supply. And it comes with a little plastic cap to protect the brass fitting. And inside here, just like on our dual burner, has an O-ring, rubber gasket there. So you don't have to over tighten this thing. The last time we used the appropriate size millimeter wrench. And I'll show you on this one. We just use a regular old, good old crescent wrench. Just gonna go till it starts to tighten up, and that's about it. So this guy is ready to connect right to our gas tank, and we'll be cooking. Okay, so we assembled the whole thing, and I have one nut and bolt left. But I checked, and all of them we have are needed, are in place. So I really like it when companies give you an extra nut and bolt, because there's always that case, you know, where you drop the thing in the dirt and you can't find it. And then you're like, oh, now what am I going to do? And then you find out, hey, I got an extra one. But when they don't do that, then you're in trouble. You know, this is a painted unit, so I'm going to let it run a little bit and burn some of the stank paint off of that thing. Just like I had to do with the double burner. And it's going to be pretty much the same with any one of these you buy. It's going to have paint on the burner, paint on the you know, on the frame, and until that burns off, it's going to smell. Okay, guys, we're going to do a little test here. We're going to turn on this burner, going to light her up. This is 2.5 gallons of cold tap water, just in case any guys are skeptical. That water is 77.3 degrees right now, right out of the tap here. So we're gonna crank this baby up on to go time, and see just how long it takes to boil 2.5 gallons of water. Time 8:21. Okay, so we're just testing this out because I do this a lot, especially garden season, wintertime. We're blanching vegetables. You know, we might have a bunch of broccoli, squash, whatever it is. We're putting up in the freezer. The old burner I had was just slow as heck. It was slow to recover the water temperature. Took forever. So hopefully this guy here, this huge burner, is going to do a lot better and speed up that whole process. Burning this thing on high is now, you know, this is the first cook on it, so it's burning this paint off, and it does stink. Okay, no, that's going to be a short-term thing. What I also noticed is, you know, it's not on wide open for, you know, by any means right now. I actually kicked it back down a little bit, but I looked under here, and it's already like torched the Concord label, and over here on this little label here, that's already getting a little burned too. But you know, functionality of the unit is not going to be affected by any of that. I know it does put out some heat. I can feel it all the way from where I'm standing. Alright, so the pot's already starting to bubble, but we're going to call time at a rolling boil. Okay guys, just hit rolling boil. There you go, 8:31. That's pretty good. This thing on my old burner used to take about 15 minutes to, maybe longer than that sometimes. From room temperature, 15 to 18 minutes to boil. So all in all, I think this is pretty good value. It seems to be well built. It's got a lot of power, and hope to use it for a long time. Thanks for watching the Backwoods Gourmet. If you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button right there. To check out our last video, right up here. Hey, and to watch the video on the review of this Concord double burner stove, check it out right up here. We'll see you next time.